Hey guys, and welcome back to If I Were a Gym Leader series. Last time I did the fairy types, and I had an enchanted forest theme with a variety of fun puzzles and tricks. Today, we have a typing I wasn't actually expecting to get so soon, but lo and behold, here we are with the electric type. It honestly kinda caught me off guard, because I couldn't think of anything for the longest time. However, I think I found something that could be pretty interesting. I'm not sure how you guys will feel, but sometimes simplicity can be fun as well. Trust me, this won't be as shocking as the dark type one and the fairy one. I think you guys will like my team though. As usual, by the way, let me know what typing you guys want me to cover next. The comment with the most upvotes will be the one that I do. Oh, and Mystic Umbreon shorts and Mystic Reads, Pokemon fanfics, and other exclusive Pokemon content, you know the drill. But without any further ado, let's hop in. As I was saying in the intro paragraph for the longest time, I had trouble thinking of a concept that was interesting for an electric gym. But then I thought maybe simplicity isn't a bad thing sometimes. I decided to go the route of being an electrician. Yeah. Even though I have utterly no experience with doing electrical-based stuff, we're gonna rock with that. I think the art does a pretty good job of portraying me as that too. The gym layout would be a pretty simple one. Essentially, think of a giant warehouse or factory with all the power turned off. Your job as the player is to turn the power back on. There are 4 rooms that you must go to in order for the power to go back on. Your job is to solve a wiring puzzle connecting the proper wires, etc. The wires would have different patterns, designs, etc. Connecting these wires isn't as easy as you would think, because these patterns all look pretty similar. And although they do look similar, trying to find the most minor of differences is going to be the difficult part. Because these changes are going to be so minor, it's going to be pretty hard to distinguish which wire is which. If the player fails the first time, they will have to battle a trainer that will make a pretty big static mess, basically paralyzing your entire team as much as they can. Some may even have grass types with Stun Spore. Their job is to make the challenge as hard as possible. Once the player defeats the trainer though, they will receive a very big hint as to what the distinct pattern is on the wire, making the puzzle much easier to solve. Once the first puzzle is solved, a part of the warehouse is turned back on. The route to the next wire will be accessible. Every time the player solves a puzzle, a new form of transportation to where the gym leader is will be unlocked. Basically, the first time could unlock an escalator. The next one could probably be a runway that perhaps goes up or down, or something else. Once all the wire puzzles are solved, all 4 pieces of transportation will be available, thus turning all the power back on in the warehouse/factory. Once the player gets to the front of the gym room though, they will have to complete one more puzzle to unlock the door before facing against the gym leader. This puzzle will be a combination of all the puzzles completed, and shouldn't be that hard to solve. Now, during my fairy type in Dark Gym, I always had some sort of Pokemon running around, to either help the player or distract them in any way. In my electric gym, the trainers are the big distractors, so there won't be any floating Pokemon around or whatever. If you guys have any ideas on what Pokemon could benefit or distract the player though, definitely share with me in the comments below. Now, on to the most important part. What team would I have and why? I don't really have a lot of favorite electric types, so this team was a little more interesting to construct. But I found one that I think is annoying as hell and could work. Pawmot, Rotom Wash, Galvantula, Kilowattrel, Iron Hands, and Magnezone. First and foremost would be my ace Pawmot. Pawmot was a giant blessing for electric types, because we finally got the electric fighting type after years of asking for it. I still don't know why Electivire didn't get it, but that's a topic for another day. Pawmot brings a lot to the table, having 105 speed and a great physical attack stat of 115. With that physical attack stat comes access to a plethora of fighting type moves, which really made it catch my eye. Close combat, Mach Punch for priority, pretty deadly stuff. Not to mention it also gets Revival Blessing, giving one of my team members a revive. So if there is a win condition, guess what? It comes back. Pawmot's also just really cute, so it's a win-win. Next is Rotom Wash, which has definitely been a staple of competitive OU since its debut. An electric gym leader without Rotom Wash is doing themselves a disservice if they don't have one. Pain Split, Will-O-Wisp, Thunder Wave, and Volt Switch for pivot? It's a pretty good wall all things considered. Third is Galvantula. Sticky Web would be huge for this team because of Magnezone. Also, Compound Ice Thunder would hit pretty hard. Fourth up is Kilowattrel. This thing is super quick and the ultimate pivot machine. There's no way that I wouldn't have it. Plus, flying attacks for grass types help out. I would use Zapdos, but I don't want to use legendaries on my team. If I had Zapdos, I feel that would give the challengers too much trouble. I guess in a really difficult rematch team scenario, Zapdos could make an appearance, but I don't know, you tell me. Do you think legendaries should be used? I think they potentially could, but I also believe there's a fine line of which one should be used. Anywho though, before I go on a rant, the fifth member would be Iron Hands. Iron Hands is another great electric fighting typing released of Scarlet and Violet. I love this thing, and I needed another physical attacker on my team. Plus, it looked fun to use. Iron Hands is a pretty bulky boy, having a 154 base HP stat and a 108 defense stat. Not to mention it's got a very destructive base 140 physical attack stat. With that destructive bulky power, paired with excellent fighting stab, swords dance access, and the elemental punches, I feel bad for a lot of opponents who wind up challenging this gym. Overall though, I feel this team pairs pretty well with each other, all things considered. Having a lot of speed, while also having sticky webs as a way for the slower Pokemon to take initiative. This would be the final-esque team for the 8th batch. I would say if it were a rematch team, I would sub out Kilowattrel for Zapdos and add some items on the Mons, if we do choose to go legendaries. It's pretty self-explanatory what I would use. Half the team would be holding half-eaten apples, while some would use some offensive items. I don't know, use your imagination. For other badge numbers teams, I suppose for badges 1 through 3, I would use 3 Pokemon, Pawmi/Pawmo, Wattrel, and perhaps Rotom. For badges 4 through 6, these 3 would obviously evolve, and I would add maybe Magnezone to shake things up a little. Even if the player were to shake things up though, we have Rotom Wash and Kilowattrel for a reason. Unless someone comes in with Molebreaker on Excadrill. Don't do that please. For the 7th badge, I would add Galvantula with Sticky Webs to really slow opposing teams down. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, I will be switching movesets around, so expect some paralysis hacks and some controller throwing to happen. I think what really makes the final team unique though is Iron Hands. That offensive bulky power can really throw challengers for a loop. Paradox Pokemon are also just sick as hell, and I can't wait to get more with the DLC. For my badge design, that one's kind of a toughie. Actually, I think this idea would be pretty dang good. Since the entire premise of the gym is about solving wire puzzles, I think the badge should be based on the final combinations of wires used to help solve the gym leader door puzzle. Think of Xurkitree with a bunch of colors. Oh, and speaking of Xurkitree, I literally just remembered it as I was writing this. Xurkitree should be the ace of the team, honestly. Anywho, that would be my concept for if I were an electric type gym leader. What did you guys think? I tried to make it as unique while keeping simplicity as best as I could. And for the most part, I think it turned out alright. As usual though, what typing would you guys like to see me cover next? And if you were an electric type gym leader, what would your team be and what would your gym be like? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. We're finally here in 2023, and I'm super excited for what this year has to offer us. There's potential DLC for Scarlet and Violet on the horizon, and who knows just what else Game Freak may have up their sleeves. It's gonna be really exciting times coming up for a Pokemon fan. If you're interested in more Mystic content, check out my TikTok and Mystic Umbreon Shorts YouTube channel. I've got a really fun series starting up there very soon, and of course, have a weekly edition of my Should You Use series focusing on Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet. Also, if you're into fanfictions and what-ifs, check out Mystic Reads. I offer a ton of creative spoken word content on there, so come join me. Thanks again for joining me today, and I'll see you all next time.